Okay, so I've never actually done any reference sheets or anything of the sort for my current characters outside of The Sims, so I guess it's time to draw my OCs and expand on different characters. Do, 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 do. Ah, shit. I needed to look into different stylized body types and understand how to make a character look more appealing to the eye while still making them easy to differentiate and reflecting their character. It's something that really most professional artists do when creating good, dynamic characters, but something that I've never actually done or thought about doing myself. So I went into Google Docs and made a whole bunch of characters' basic outline for the setting, as it is still very much in the works, and the only one fleshed out is my main character, who's a vampire and a complete freak. But anyways, more on that later. I was originally going to do all of their different versions from the eras that they've lived in, but then I realized that it would have been over 10 different designs, so that was quickly set aside for the future. I'm also still in the works for their previous names and actual past personalities, since only 2 of those eras have truly been set in stone. I'm also absolute dog shit at color theory. Like, I can recognize when it's used by others sometimes, but when I actually tried to do a similar technique, it looks god fucking awful. So, with that being said, I went into Adobe Color CC and actually tried to figure out good color palettes for the characters that I had in my head. But then I quickly was to realize that they all had either blue or green in them, which did not work out well. So I changed a lot of their color palette, and holy fuck, the yellow and blue are burning my retinas out. But we'll stick to it for now until we have a different color. After my sketch, I made a silhouette sort of effect to see how recognizable they would be in the story if they had no defining facial features, like if you saw them from the back or something. I saw that Nika and Prince, these 2 motherfuckers, they were lacking, so I decided to add a guitar to the back of Nika and chains to Prince's pants. Especially with Nika, it feels like it lacks a lot of recognition, since if you took her guitar away, you'd have no idea that it was her, other than maybe her hair. So I'll probably change the design a bit for her in the future, since these are just character concepts, but I'm hoping that her pants can at least pull her through a little bit. I was a little unsure what to do with Prince's hair, whether to make it spiky or with dreads, so I went to Reddit with the disclaimer that the dreads were nowhere near being done and were super half-assed in the moment, and that I was still learning. Basically, it was just a rough brainstorming draft. And they basically said, the spiky version looks good, but the dreads need a lot of work. Like, I know! Can you not read? I was asking for the basic appearance if it looked like it would fit the character more and... Ugh. I'll just go ask my friends, because no one understood the assignment. So, after sending the question to some of my friends in a Discord server, now we wait as I continue on. This was genuinely hard to figure out the color palette for Nika, and oh my fucking god, it took me so long to adjust Axe's height. It legit took me like 10 minutes. His legs were always too short, or the canvas itself was too short. It was absolute hell. Anyways, here's the first lineup of my OCs. Let me go into them real quick to discuss the meaning of why I chose these body types and the palettes for them. I used the official color psychology website and my own knowledge of color psychology to cement or tweak the colors, but also making sure I was still following the rules of my split complementary colors. Starting from left to right, let's talk about Nika. The lead guitarist and backup singer, she's really chill and also can be somewhat unpredictable and chaotic. She likes reading fanfiction and playing video games, but also hot wiring cars and is a super skilled mechanic. She can be both profoundly insightful and playful, or just a chaos demon with her kleptomania and thrill-seeking adventures. She'll be there, hanging out with the band one moment, and then the next moment she'll be off breaking into abandoned buildings and places that she's not supposed to be. She's a chaotic good with a heavy lean into the rebellious don't tell me what to do trope. She's a firecracker, unpredictable and electric, but fiercely loyal to the few who she deems worthy. She follows her own code, loyalty to those that she loves, a disdain for authority, and an obsession with freedom. If she cares about you, she'll burn the world for you, and if she doesn't, then you're just background noise. Her loyalty is earned, not given, and once she's in your corner, she'll raise cities to keep you safe. As for the reason that I chose her color palette, purple's often associated with dignity, independence, creativity, mystery, ambition, and magic. Pink for that chaotic sort of vibe, and other reasons that I will mention later with my vampire character. And originally I was going to give blue for imagination, but then I changed it to brown to fit the color scheme better, and also because it was a more grounded and resilient color. Her body shape shows how small and cute she can look to others, but as soon as she opens her damn mouth, it's striking of her fiery nature. Anyways, continuing on, let's discuss Langston, or Prince, the drummer of the band Arsenic Lust, which this is what they're all a part of. He flirts like breathing, throwing around cocky one-liners and teasing remarks, but to those who get close enough, they'll see glimpses of unexpected gentleness and depth. When he's not drumming, he's picking up side gigs, anything to keep his hands busy, really. Langston drives on pleasure, chaos, and power play, but beneath the arrogance, he has a strong sense of loyalty and justice. Oh, and would you look at that? I got the real answer to Prince's hair, by the way. I agreed with the comments, saying that the locks looked a lot better and more fitting than the spikes. I chose his color palette because green gives us a gentle and relaxing sort of feeling, but also an invigorating sensation. It also represents connection and is considered a key color that represents purity, health, and freshness. I also put some purple, since it was a contrasting color, which symbolizes dignity, wisdom, and creativity, which I think I mentioned before, but you know. The grayish-black color for his pants were mostly out of aesthetic, to be honest, because honestly any more color would have been a bit too much for my eyes, especially with the rest of the cast. As you could probably tell, as I stated before, I chose a lot of contrasting and split complementary colors, mostly because the band themselves are usually contradictions to themselves, but it also makes them pop more. Okay, on to Azul, the vampire freak. At first, I kind of wanted to go with a reddish color for their clothes and raccoon tail, maybe like a raspberry red or a cerise red, especially since red is often associated with energy, war, danger, strength, power, determination, as well as passion, desire, and love. It also enhances the human metabolism, increases respiration rate, and raises blood pressure, which I didn't know. And it also attracts more attention than any other color, sometimes signifying danger. However, I decided to stay with the hot pink since it contrasts well with the neon green raccoon tail on the other side of their hair, and honestly, it would have looked a lot more festive than scene or punk. It takes a bit away from the character's color psychology, especially with the naive or innocent quality that pink has, but then again, pink is one of the most contradictory colors out there, so I just shrugged and said, fuck it, it fits them. I also decided to go with these colors, specifically the last two on this color palette, since the first one was a bit too pastel for their rowdy, wild, and flirty personality, but also because a lot of the stars in the Starlight Cabaret, which is another group in the storyline, you'll learn more about that in another video, but it'll be on my Unveil account anyways. Pretty much every single one of the stars has at least one, they're pink coated basically, but sometimes it's a lot, sometimes it's very little. I have one character that's show the Sims thing. I don't know. But basically, one character, it's very monotone, but has pink eyes, robot moment, pink, blue pink tongue, whatever. Anyways, I fucking love her. She's super cool and hot. Oh my god, I love her. I will protect her. Anyways, her. But then you also have on the other side this girl. I love her too. who her name's Pixie, and she's a Southern belle, but fuck, she speaks. She speaks. Fuck. But anyways, I'll that besides the point. I'll talk about them later. But anyways, they all have pink in the group, and the whole cabaret is very pink coated. That's what I meant. Anyways, moving on. I also decided to keep the green color for the other raccoon tail because I knew that I wanted to keep that color, but also because it's a bit bittersweet. Vampires are known for being immortal in this universe, somewhat. It's I'll talk about the logistics later. I'm still working on it. Or at least living centuries. So it would only be logical that they'd have a little bit of green in their design since it symbolizes health and vitality. Black is also a large part of their design, with their long hair and all that. It's pretty obvious of its meaning because it's often associated with power, elegance, formality, death, evil, and mystery. It's also associated with fear and unknown, like black holes and all that. And most poignantly, grief. Many of their previous designs also follow black as being a main contrasting color. Except for like 2 eras that I can think of, but I'm still working on that. I'm not really gonna talk too much about like Azul other than like, holy shit, they're a freak. And they're a vampire. That's all I'm really gonna say. They're French, and basically they pass their time with drugs and sex and pranks and pleasure and fucking you know the type. Very hedonistic, and they used to be like, nothing fucking matters, to now nothing fucking matters. So that's a slay for them. We love that for them, but fuck, I feel bad for them, to be honest. Man, I would not want to be in their shoes. Jumping back, black is one of the most complex meaning colors on the spectrum. We realize that there's no set-in-stone interpretation that comes with this color, and black is likely versatile, and depending on which angle you approach it from, you can see it as elegant, mysterious, or downright depressing. Like I said before, it's a symbol of grief, and it's intentional that it's only their hair that is the majority of black, and with its length suggests a long history of it. As for their body shape, they're slender but short. Their hips are a bit wider, suggesting a level of promiscuity, femboy sort of vibes, but they're just non-binary or gender non-conforming, so androgynous. I'm not sure if I want to change their body shape with every design or reflecting their changing personality throughout the ages, since I think that might be a bit jarring for a comic and potentially quite confusing when flashbacks inevitably occur in the B-plot. Lastly, let's talk about Axe. I actually struggled a lot with him, mostly because his very top-heavy build. I also hate the legs, but I'll probably just adjust it in the future. But I also struggled with it because I wanted to incorporate blue as a main color, but yellow is the only real contrasting color. I would have gone with a shade, but black was already for his jeans, and white just looked like a wife beater. I also considered putting him in a sweater or a turtleneck, but it just felt off. Like, imagine being in a big-ass coat and a sweater. That would be way too fucking warm. I would have also gone with green, but that was already in so many of the characters and not a contrasting colors, so that would have been a bit too much. So, settling for the forbidden yellow, I changed the hue a bit more to orange, but still mostly yellow to the eye. It made a big difference, but I'm not really sure if I'm too happy with it, to be honest. His hair was also a struggle, because he has salt and pepper hair, but also subtly dyed blue like it faded from neon, and left behind a bit of its tint. I liked this sort of look, but it was also so similar to the coat that I'm not really sure how to feel about it. I'm also not a fan of the shoe color, but that's the least of my concerns for the terms of color palette in the moment. Blue symbolizes empathy and nurturing, and has an overall calming effect on our minds. Yellow represents things like contentment, the sun for example. Axe also has heterochromic eyes because one eye is a prosthetic robot eye that vaguely looks like a glass eye. I'm not sure how much there really is to say about him, other than I absolutely adore this man, but that's probably just my daddy issues kicking in. Anyways, sorry I yapped so much, I will be doing it again. This is less so a tutorial and more me just needing to put another video out while talking about my OCs, because I'm brainstorming my comic that I plan to do in the far future, since I am nowhere close to being done with the writing, and also I just wanted to yap for a bit. I mean, I only really have Azul, the vampire one, down the best, and I would go more into detail about the actual storyline, but that would give spoilers if I did ever fully commit to it. Also, just a little off-topic thing here, I started playing Cyberpunk right after making this, and I am so upset. Hello. Sorry. I am so upset because, fuck, the storyline is so similar, even though I made it, like, low-key when it started coming, like, when Cyberpunk 2077 came out. Like, oh my god, it's killing me. Like, bro, bro. Anyways, long story short, the storyline is about a vampire in a cyberpunk world who feeds on both energy and blood. Plot A dives into the current state of the world in 3069, yes, 69, I will probably change that in the future, where it discusses themes like corrupt governments, morals, classism, resistance, and overall pollution. Basically, the only reason they even have power or robots is because rich people are profiting off of them of burning plastic, which, you know, power is good, but it also pollutes the air and kills people, and most cannot afford filtered gas masks to keep them safe. Also, healthcare is only for the rich because androids and doctors take money. All while there's resistance to the corruption and cruelty that common folk face from higher ups. It's a reflection of how I see the current state of affairs going here in America, but also the world as well. And partially history, to be honest, because this has been a very common thing throughout all of history. Plot B basically shoots back into Azul's past, the vampire, throughout history and the world and their travels, but also sometimes in a deeply tragic way that you can still see reflected in them now. You never really know what you're going to get with B-plot, and this is what I won't say much of because I don't want to reveal too much. Plot C is less refined, and I don't know if I want to scrap it or add it to plot A, because Azul's pretty interconnected with a spot called the Starlight Cabaret, which they frequent. Plot C goes into the characters and actual dancers of the place, since there are a couple of characters that I think are super interesting concepts, one especially, but I'll probably talk more about her in another video when I develop her story more and make her design. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please let me know down in the comments. I kind of decided to scrap my old writing style for the script because honestly it just took too much mental effort out of me, and also, I don't know, it's as much as I love that more like refined poetic sort of thing, it doesn't really suit me. It's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, you might really like hearing it, but actually doing it is a completely different story. So that's kind of what happened. So I think I'm not really playing a character anymore, which honestly I think is better for my mental health anyways. So also, if you notice that my voice isn't as glitchy as it usually is, or seems strained, it's mostly because I turned down the effects on, like, the voice effects on this, because honestly, at first I was really, like, self-conscious about my voice, but now I'm just like, okay, cool. So slowly I'm getting more and more used to my own voice, so we're working with that. It's it fluctuates a lot, so sometimes I'm just like, okay, like, I don't know, it's whack. Anyways, that's all. Well, I'm gonna go and play Cyberpunk 2077. Bye!
Feel anything?
Play by play, though? Really, Doc? Makes you sound like a dentist, always going on and on.
Don't be mean now. Remember, I'm old. I got a shaky Gannic hand. Could slip. Lights out for a minute, all right?